Hey, you guys, this is our yoga practice. My hope is that this is a valuable resource that can help you understand more deeply the really amazing tools that are available to you through your very own body and becoming more in tune with that body. So in that spirit, we'll get started. Today, all you need is some space and a yoga mat. Now, every time I teach yoga, I like to offer an intention or something to practice with or think about. And lately in our course, we've been exploring what's at my center and the concept of the ego. So this is one of my favorite books. It's Hafiz. He's a Sufi poet from the 13th century. And whenever I forget who God is to me, I open this book and I remember. This is It Felt Love. How did the rose ever open its heart and give to this world all of its beauty? It felt the encouragement of light against its being. Otherwise, we all remain too frightened. Today, I want you just to reflect with compassion on the places you're moving through life too frightened to open yourself to the world, to let your true self be seen, to be vulnerable or soft. And through this practice and through this breath, I want you to imagine and look for that warmth, that light, that spaciousness of presence, of love, of that space of no judgment, just this kind, compassionate curiosity that's right here. How did the rose ever open its heart and give to this world all its beauty? It felt the encouragement of light against its being. Otherwise, we all remain too frightened. Let's just take a couple of Ujjayi breaths. And I want you to picture that Ujjayi breath. Inhale through the nose and make that exhale with the hushing sound in the throat. And feel that hushing sound as though it were these rays of sunlight, the energy of light against your being. Let that inhale fill you up, and let that Ujjayi breath, that hushing exhale, wash over you. The encouragement of light against your being. Whatever else you do in today's movement practice in the yoga flow, don't worry if there's certain things you can't do perfectly or you need to modify. Listen to your own body, find your own flow, move in the way that serves you. What I do is always a suggestion, but what feels right in your body is your compass and your guide. The most important thing you'll do is stay connected to that breath. Can you allow that Ujjayi breath to be like a bridge that carries you through the practice? Let the breath motivate the movement. Let each exhale draw you deeper into that space of light within yourself. Let's practice.
Beginning by finding a seat on your mat. First, just connect those sits bones down and then gently roll your spine to recline backwards, maybe opening your arms wide to feel the space of your heart, and continue that Ujjayi breath like we just practiced. Letting each exhale warm the heart space. Gently draw the left knee into your chest, extend the right leg down to the ground, and just gently move and explore that left hip. Draw the left knee to the side under your armpit for a breath. And then gently cross over the body for knee down twist, gazing over the opposite shoulder. Coming back to neutral spine, catch that ankle on the opposite leg and clasp the hands around the right shin, drawing the knees into the chest. Figure 4. Drop that left heel down to the ground. Use peace fingers to wrap around the right big toe and extend that leg up and bend the knee. Feeling into that hamstring, maybe opening that leg to the side, finding a little space in that inner thigh. Use your breath to soften and release through the hip. Then bend that knee back over and cross that left foot all the way down to the ground. Use your right hand to grab onto the ankle and feel a real stretch here in the left hip. It might feel nice to release that bind and drop knees side to side, windshield wipers, before you settle that foot back down on the ground and grab that ankle with the right hand again. Breathe, soften into that hip. Release that foot, draw both knees into the chest, extend the legs up, and point flex through the feet, just waking up the back of the legs. Maybe dropping down one leg at a time, creating a little bit of heat and aliveness through the core. If it feels nice, you might lift those feet over the top of the head for plow and do some of that lifting and lowering of the legs in plow. If plow's not accessible to you, just keep those legs elevated. And we'll slowly meet again with the back flat on the mat. Now bending the knees, soles of feet come together. Basket the hands around the feet, lift the head and shoulders to create space for a stretch in the back of the neck and shoulders here. Release the head back down on the ground, maybe releasing the arms overhead. Walk those feet out to the sides, mat width apart, and let the knees knock together. And rest in a really restorative posture here. Connect with your breath. And then knees back to the chest and rock up and down on your spine. Then draw that right knee into the chest, extend the left leg. Take that right knee out to the side, and then cross it over the body and extend that right arm wide for knee down twist. Back to neutral spine. Hook those arms through that figure four and draw the knees into the chest for a stretch through that outer hip. Drop that foot back to the ground and cross that right foot over flat, grabbing with the left hand. Maybe utilizing those windshield wiper knees again, and then settling into that resting posture. Left hand hooked to right ankle, waking up the right hip. Sending each exhale to the hip here. And bringing that knee in, hooking the big toe with peace fingers, bend and straighten, find some space in those hamstrings, maybe dropping that leg out to the side. Bend that knee, both knees into the chest, And rock up and down on the spine a few times again before you push yourself all the way forward. Hands plant, feet back for high plank, and then lift those hips for your first downward dog. Pedal through the heels. Hands are about shoulder width apart, gaze is through the legs, and you're going to sway that chest through the shoulders, gazing through the feet. Drop down to your knees and push back, child's pose. Connect with the mat, reconnect with your breath. Maybe inchworm those fingertips forward to find more length in the spine and the back muscles. Roll up to find hero's posture, this kneeling position. Clasp hands behind the back to open through the chest and shoulders and roll through the neck. Slide those hands forward, lift the hips high for puppy. Opening through the whole front of the body, your gaze is either forward or down at the mat. Find that Ujjayi breath, breathe, release. Slide those forearms back and tuck the toes, settle your hips down for Sphinx posture. Press the shoulder blades away from the ears as you roll again through the neck and create more space in the shoulders and neck. Noticing any tightness, releasing any sense of clenching or tightness. Slide the hands back, maybe pushing all the way up into up dog and sending that head all the way back behind you for a long opening through the front of the body. Lay yourself down, arms wide, and kick that left foot behind for spinal twist. Option here to reach back with your left hand to grab the top of the left foot for an extra bonus quadricep stretch. Release that stretch, roll onto your belly, and push those hands, palms up behind you. Push the shoulders away from the ears. Lift the big toes, drawing them towards each other for Shalabhasana. And then push the other way, kicking the right foot behind you. Spinal twist. Again, that option to grab the right hand to the right foot for quadricep stretch. And then back to your belly, either lifting back to Shalabhasana or reaching for the tops of those feet, Dhanurasana. Releasing down, pushing into the hands all the way up to high plank, and then lift those hips back to downward dog. Pedal through the heels, waking up the back of the body, and swaying the chest through the shoulders. Maybe planting both heels and seeing if you can really square into this downward dog and find some steady grounding energy here. Then drop down to your knees for cat-cow, really connecting with the breath here. Inhaling as you lift the head and tail, exhaling as you drop the head and tail, and really using your breath to explore all the different directions that your spine can move. So making your spine like water. Maybe you can move it in circles, maybe sway it side to side, up, down, looking for any tension and rolling through with your breath. And pushing back high onto your knees for a heart opener. You might just barely bend back so that your heart just barely reaches open, or you can extend all the way back. Either way, just really feeling the energy of your heart opening, beaming forward. And then releasing forward and shifting your weight back into Malasana squat. Feet about hip width apart. Round your spine as you reach forward. Maybe clasping hands on the back of the head and letting the weight of the hands and gravity just release the back of the neck and the upper back in this deep yoga squat. Then maybe reaching hands to prayer and lengthening through the spine. Drop hands, straighten the legs, flat back, gaze to the horizon, and exhale, fold. Maybe slide those hands underneath the feet and just drop the head. You want the head so heavy here. If you need to bend the knees so that the head hangs heavy, bend the knees. Release those hands out of the feet and instead wrap peace fingers around big toes. Little lift, inhale, exhale, fold. Again, looking for a release through the vertebrae. Now wrap that right hand around the left ankle and reach up with the left hand, maybe placing on the small of the back, looking for a twist. Reverse sides, reaching the left arm around right ankle. Right arm reaches up and then maybe slides down the small of the back. Both hands walk forward. Bring those feet about hip width apart, back to high plank. Lift those hips, sink the chest through, back to downward facing dog, pedal through the heels. Bend the knees, gaze forward, and jump or step to the top of the mat. Inhale, gaze to the horizon, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, fly up, flat back. Exhale, bring those hands down, heart center. Inhale, hands and gaze lift. Exhale, fold forward, flat back. Inhale, gaze to the horizon, flat back. Exhale, release down, jump or step back, chaturanga. Inhale, peel the heart open. Exhale, hips lift and pedal through those heels. Lift the left leg up and explore the left side of the body. Bend and straighten that knee, make circles with that leg. Just notice how the left side of the body feels. Plant that left foot between the hands, fly those arms up, maybe hooking thumbs, sending the head through those open arms like a little back bend in the air. This is high crescent lunge. Spring forward, sending all of your weight behind you, pressing palms up for tabletop. Then swing that back leg through for figure four, releasing the pain in your butt. Then send that leg behind, back to high crescent lunge. Can you open your heart a little deeper in this posture? Where is your breath? Prayer hands come through and then hook that right elbow on that left knee for a twist. Drop the right knee behind you. Drop that right knee behind you and just reach that left arm back. Right hand plants, left foot extends back, modified Vashisthasana, maybe dropping that right ear to the right shoulder. And then reaching for that left foot for another quadricep stretch. That's a little bonus. Or you can just enjoy opening through the left side of the body through this modified side plank. Hands come down, left leg's extended back, tuck the right toes, push up for three-legged down dog. Draw the left knee into the chest and hover. Pushing back up, three-legged down dog. Draw that knee to the outer elbow, push it back up. Draw the knee into the opposite elbow, push it back up. Draw the knee to the center and hover before you extend that foot all the way through to the blade edge and open for fallen triangle. This is another big heart opener. Feel the energy of the heart open. Feel the whole front of the body open. Beautiful. Replace the right hand down. Draw that left leg back up for three-legged down dog. And then draw the left knee to the left wrist for pigeon. Settling into those hips. This is a hip opener. So settling, and then we're going to breathe like waves, and we're going to make our spine like a wave. So inhaling the spine up, exhaling the spine down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Maybe stacking the fists when you're ready to relax and surrender into this posture. Knowing pigeon is a challenging posture for most of us, and that we carry our emotions in the hips. So really patiently bringing this space, this compassionate space into this left hip as we breathe, giving that left hip permission to release. Then lifting up onto the hands, drawing that left foot back to plank, pedal through the heels, lift back up into downward dog. Bend the knees, jump or step to the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, fly up. Exhale, release the hands down, Samasthiti. Inhale, hands and gaze lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back, gaze to the horizon. Exhale, jump or step back, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, peel the heart open. Exhale, hips lift, downward dog. Pedal through the heels and reconnect with your breath. Find that inhale, find that exhale. And then send the right leg up to explore the right side of the body. Maybe bending, straightening that leg, maybe making circles. Eventually plant that right foot in between the hands and fly those hands up for high crescent lunge. Spring forward, sending all the weight of the body back. Tabletop. Balance challenge and strength challenge here. Float that left leg through for standing figure 4, releasing the pain in your butt again. Release that left foot back to high crescent lunge. Wiggle your head through your shoulders. Open through the heart, little back bend. Hands come through to prayer, and then twist that left elbow to the right knee. Try to keep those hands at the center of the chest. Drop the left knee behind and deepen into that twist, reaching the right hand behind the hip. Dropping that left arm down, extending the right leg out for modified Vashisthasana, and opening through the right side of the body. Feeling the openness of the shoulders, the chest, maybe dropping the left ear to the left shoulder. Maybe lifting that right foot and reaching back with the right hand for another bonus quadricep stretch. Release that foot, hands plant, tuck the left toes, and reach that right foot up into the air. We're going to move through our core sequence again, knee into the chest center, re-extend. Knee reaches to the outside elbow, re-extend. Knee reaches across to the inside elbow, re-extend. Knee hovers to the middle of the chest, and then unfold that leg all the way through fallen triangle, opening through the whole front of the body. Breathe, release. Replace that hand, kick that foot back up, three-legged down dog. And then draw the right knee to the right wrist. Settle those hips before you make waves. Use your breath to make waves. Inhaling down, exhaling up. Eventually stacking those fists, finding a place where your body can soften into this posture. Each exhale, that energy of light against your being. When you're ready, pushing yourself up, sliding that back leg around, and extending it out in a diagonal direction, lifting your opposite arm and reaching for the outside of the foot, trying to keep your back as flat as possible. Push your shoulders away from your ears, draw your heart forward. Then reach back, right hand behind right hip, and swoop up your last heart opener for the day. Wild thing, beautiful, release. Settle your hips back down and reach across the opposite hand to the outside of the foot. Draw the heart forward and down. Release that hold. Now take that extended leg, bend the knee, and we're finding fire log. So shins are stacked, feet are slightly flexed, and we're just going to put gentle pressure on that knee. I like to soften and even kind of massage my hip. This posture to me is so symbolic of my ego. Like no matter how long I practice, there it is, always, my knee's always kind of poking up higher than I wish it was. It's not laying exactly the nice flat way that it's supposed to lay, just like my ego. And now finding the opposite side for this stretch sequence, reaching with the opposite hand, drawing the heart forward on the other side. Left hand behind left hip, and wash that body open. Feel that beautiful heart beaming energy. Settle the hips back down, reach across, opposite hand to outside of the foot, and gently draw that heart forward, long spine. Sitting up and bending that extended leg for fire log on the other side. Again, feet slightly flexed, shins stacked as much as possible, and just bringing so much love and compassion to this tricky knee that doesn't do exactly what we want it to do. Loving ourselves exactly where we're at, accepting the limitations of our human condition with so much love and patience. Eventually unwind those legs and draw the feet to the side, Upavishta. This is a forward fold where I want your back as flat as possible, so press the shoulder blades down and back and just settle the body forward in this forward fold. Let's walk ourselves up and just place the hands behind the hips, lengthening through the spine. Really feel the length of the spine here. And now try to maintain the length you just created in the spine as you walk the hands forward and forward fold again. Back is flat, like you're tipping the pelvis forward like a teacup. Gently walking the hands back up, draw the knees together, slide yourself up and find a few gentle rolls like a little back massage. Maybe if it feels like it serves, all the way back over to plow again. Otherwise, just stay tucked in. We're nearing the end of our movement practice, so whatever feels the most nourishing and restorative in your body is where I want you to rest. If you're upside down, just gently dropping the back to find your flat back on the mat, and then peace fingers around big toes and letting gravity do the work of this reclined fold, Upavishta. And bend the knees, draw the soles of the feet together, basket the hands, lift the head and shoulders to once again feel that opening stretch through the top of the shoulders and the neck. Then settle the heels about hip width apart, lay the palms down on the mat and slowly peel the spine up towards the sky. Breathe into this bridge. This is a reclined heart opener, lots of heart opening today. When you've had enough, just lie those hips back down onto the mat. If it feels safe, open those arms wide to keep that heart energy open and flowing. And then just gently drop the knees side to side. Window wipers. Eventually settling into Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together, knees dropped out to the side, arms over the head, or option to place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, and start to deepen your breath. We're moving towards our meditation. You can stay in this open and vulnerable posture as long as you like. And whenever you're ready, extend into a relaxed, extended resting posture where you can be as still as possible to connect with your meditation. Deepening each breath. Finding the space inside. Take a deep inhale through your nose, noticing the coolness of your inhale. Exhale, release. Cleansing breath. One more breath just like that. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, release, cleansing breath. Now settle into a steady breath, extending your inhales and your exhales, finding space between each breath. And creating a clear canvas in the mind and body, letting each breath create space inside of you. It felt love. How did the rose ever open its heart and give to this world all its beauty? It felt the encouragement of light against its being. Otherwise, we all remain too frightened. For a moment, picture a rose ready to bloom, and see if you can imagine that flower in those moments when it's ready to burst open. Ask yourself, is there anything keeping me from opening my heart and giving to all the world my beauty? Picture yourself as that tightly closed rosebud. You might notice where in your body you hold your tightness. When you're that closed rosebud, where do you feel that closing off energy inside of you? Allow yourself to scan for any stories that you carry of self-blame or shame. Scan for parts of yourself you feel embarrassed of, for parts you feel you have to push down or hide. Parts you feel you have to control or keep in check. Parts you realize you haven't been able to keep in control. Addictions or big emotional reactions. Maybe even just a tone of voice, but a part of you that feels out of control or destructive. Scan for parts you feel are letting someone down. Yourself, a partner, an employer, a friend, a parent, your children. Allow yourself to feel into these parts. You might even visualize scenarios or allow voices to surface, whether they're your own internal voice or the voices of people around you. What are the scenes and images and voices associated with these parts? With the tightly closed rosebud inside of you. Now allow yourself to sense into the felt experience of these parts. You might even allow yourself to view the people affected by these behaviors and watch how these behaviors affect them. Allow yourself to feel in your own body the energy of being that tightly closed rosebud. To recognize where in your body you hold that energy, if it has a color, if it has a weight, a texture, how much space it takes up. And now come back to the visual of the rosebud, closed tightly, and allow yourself to pour light over its petals. Feel the warmth of this light and let it pool over the part of your body that feels the most tight and tense. And let that warmth and light envelop this part of the body and spread across until it covers your whole body, head to toe. Allow this light to spread into the spaces around your heart, the spaces between the voices, the scenarios, and the harm caused by your behaviors. Watch how the light softens, soothes, creates space, creates healing. Allow the light to show you the roots of your harmful or misguided behaviors. Allow it to show you where you were hurting, what needs you were trying to meet, what fears you were trying to cope with. How in that moment there was an instinct to protect yourself. Allow the light to hold you in compassion, to hold you as a human being, to hold your hopes and fears, your harms and your best intentions. Allow the light to hold those you have harmed, to hold them and heal them, to shine light into the most tightly closed parts of themselves and allow them to soften and blossom. Notice that the light is streaming from a never-ending source. It is everywhere and endless, no beginning and no end. Sense yourself bathed in rich, warm, never-ending light, and send yourself safety, forgiveness, and love. You might put your hand on your heart and say, "Forgiven, forgiven, forgiven." Breathing in forgiveness, breathing out shame. Watch the presence of darkness, heaviness, tightness, fear, and shame lift from your body and dissipate into the light, dissolving into nothing. As you feel your breath return to your body, sense the fullness of the light that still rests in you. Know that you can return to this state of presence, of freedom, of love anytime. That you can call on this light to fill you whenever you need it. That it is always here, is always present. Its source is never ending. Every time you feel yourself closing off in shame, blame, or self-judgment, you can open your mind and heart. You can feel the encouragement of light against your being. Otherwise, we all remain too frightened. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste.